I'm Kate Harris, 31. I work at the dead letter office of Chicago's main post office. Dead letters are mail that never makes it to its destination. Wrong addresses, recipients who moved, people who can't be traced. We get thousands every day. Our job is straightforward. Open them up, check for a return address, send them back if we can, and shred them if we can't. Some folks call this job bleak. But I think these letters hold more stories than the ones that get delivered on time. I know where to land. Each one is a connection that snapped. That afternoon, I tore open a plain white envelope, no return address. The addressment line read, Charles Whitfield, deceased. The postmark was from another neighborhood in the city, dated last week. A letter to a dead man, and the sender clearly had no clue. I ran a search in the system. Charles Whitfield had died 21 years prior. 1997, cardiac arrest. No next of kin claimed the body, the state buried him. No family, no address, no paper trail. A man who barely existed on paper. And yet someone was still writing to him, 21 years later. I pulled out the sheet inside. No note, just a hand-drawn map, thin pencil lines, street names, corners, a park entrance all marked out. At the center, an oak tree was circled, with a line scrawled next to it, 32 years. Enough. 32 years. Enough of what? I flipped the map over. Nothing on the back. I stared at that oak tree for a long time. Then I opened my locker, slipped the map inside, and didn't log it. The park on the map was Lincoln Park, one of Chicago's biggest and oldest. The oak was marked in the north corner, near the lake, with nothing else around it. I took the bus there after work. The park was huge, late autumn, most of the leaves already down, crunching under my feet. I found the oak, thicker than it looked on the map, trunk about 3 feet across, rough bark, roots nubbling up out of the ground like a clenched fist. The map said 32 years. If it was buried in 1986, that'd be 32 years prior. I knelt and ran my hand over the dirt around the roots. The ground was hard, but one patch of sod was darker than the rest, like it'd been dug up and laid back down. I had no tools, so I dug with my hands. The dirt was cold, black grit getting under my nails. About 20 centimeters down, my fingers hit metal. Cold, hard, smooth-edged. I brushed away the dirt and uncovered the corner of a metal box. Roughly 30 centimeters long, 20 wide, dark green paint rusted through, but the lash was still intact, buried under that oak like a forgotten time capsule. I pulled it out and wiped off the mud. A small padlock hung on the lash. No key. I tucked the box under my coat and took it home. Back at my apartment, I cut the lock with pliers. When the lid snapped open, it made a dull, breathy sound like a sigh. Inside were letters, 32 of them, bound into 2 stacks with rubber bands. All same-size white envelopes, all addressed to the same person, Charles Whitfield. Different senders, but 3 distinct handwritings. One woman, one man, another woman. I opened the top one first, dated December 1997, signed MJ. Charles, you told me to let you know when he was gone. I did. Funeral's Saturday. You coming? You can't. I forgot you can't. You left sooner. MJ. Second one, August 1996. Charles, she got into college. You said you'd come back when she did. She did. Where are you, MJ? Third one, March 1995. Charles, my bank account's frozen. You used to say you'd take care of us. Now you can't even write back. Are you dead, MJ? Fourth, fifth, sixth. Each one shorter, sharper, more desperate than the last. MJ kept saying the same thing. You promised you'd come back, and you didn't. Where are you? 32 letters, spanning 10 years, all to a deceased man. And then the writer seemed to have no idea he was gone. But someone knew. The person who drew the map knew. They buried all the letters under the oak, marked the spot, and mailed it to the dead letter office, waiting for some clerk to open it. took me 3 days to sort the 32 letters chronologically. First dated September 1986, last December 1997. The first one opened. Charles, thank you for helping me, but I can't keep doing this. If you're going to disappear, at least tell me why. The letters in between unraveled. One from 1990, you say you love her. Then what am I? One from 1993, my mom died. You didn't even send a sympathy card. The last one, 1997, he's gone. Funeral, you can't make it. I hate you. Across all 32 letters, MJ never left her full name, but a few details came through. She lived near Brighton Park on Chicago's South Side. She had a kid, Charles's. The baby was born in 1984. Charles disappeared in 1986. Disappeared, not died, disappeared. On purpose, by choice. I pulled Charles Whitfield's death record again. 1997, cardiac arrest, unacclaimed. But MJ's December 1997 letter said the funeral's Saturday. She was writing to tell him about someone else's funeral. If Charles was already dead in 1997, why tell him? Unless she didn't know he was dead. Unless his death was fake. The second stack was signed RL. Male handwriting, sharp, wide letter spacing. His notes were shorter, more like quick memos. First note, April 1989, Charles, I did what you told me. Now it's blown up, get back here and fix it. You owe me. Second, 1991, Charles, 40 grand's missing from the account. You taking it or giving it away? Explain yourself. Third, 1993, Charles, cops are asking about you. I can't cover for you much longer. You better actually be dead. Fourth, 1995, Charles, I don't care if you're alive or dead. After you left, my shop closed. My family fell apart. You set up the board and we were all your pieces. Now the pieces have no board. You happy? 9 letters total from RL 1989 to 1995. Started 3 years after MJ's, ended 2 years earlier. There was money between him and Charles. Accounts, 40 grand, a shop, a broken family. Charles set RL up with something before he vanished. RL followed through and everything collapsed. I picked up the third stack, signed EH. Only 4 letters, all dated 1990 to 1991. Thin, delicate handwriting, like someone well-educated. Charles, you lied to me. You said you were single. You said you loved me. But you have a child, don't you? I know I'm right. You disappeared because you were scared I'd find you. Well, I did. I know you're in Colorado. Wait for me. That last one, EH, said she'd found him. Colorado. Then the trail went cold. No more letters. Did she go or didn't she? 3 writers. 3 separate lives, all looking for Charles Whitwill, blaming him, broken by him, after he died. And Charles, he got all those letters and buried them all under the same oak tree. I started digging into Charles Whitmore. The system had barely anything. 1997 death record, no relatives, no will, no other files. A man dead for 21 years, reduced to 2 lines in legal records. But I found him on old newspaper microfilm, a 1985 Chicago Taruve business piece. Charles Whitmore was named, founder and CEO. The article said Whitmore Real Estate raised money from over 40 people between 1984 and 1985, claiming it would fund a Southside commercial complex. The project never broke ground. After investors filed reports, the company dissolved overnight and Charles Whitmore went off the grid in early 1986. Went off the grid, not died. He vanished in 1986 and all the investors lost him. MJ's September 1986 letter said, if you're going to disappear, at least tell me why. Right after he dropped out of sight. Then he was officially declared dead in 1997. By who? No family claimed the body. Who filed the death certificate? Unless someone faked his death, made him legally dead so investors and cops would stop looking for good. A real estate scammer faked his death, vanished with $2 million.
But some people never stopped looking. They wrote letters, buried them under the oak. And Charles, he came and got them somehow, read them, buried them again. He wasn't gone. He was watching.
I went over the hand-drawn map again with a magnifying glass. Under the pencil mark for the oak, there was a fainter layer, erased, but not all the way. I squinted through a high-power lens for a long time. 4 words, same pencil, same hand as the map. Write back, put it back. An instruction for whoever found the box. You found it. Write a reply, put it back. He'll come get it. He wasn't coming for letters. He was coming for a response. Charles Whitfield was still picking up mail. He left the box there, waiting for someone to find it, write back, and replace it. Then he'd show up. A man dead for 21 years, still collecting mail at his own grave. I thought about it for a long time. Then I picked up a pen. Charles Whitfield, I'm the one who found your box. I know you faked your death. I know you owe MJ, RL, and EH an answer. I'm putting the letters back. If you're still alive, come get them. Sat on a park bench and waited. Night wind came off the lake, cold. I had no idea when he'd come. Maybe tonight, maybe next week, maybe never. But I'd left my letter. It was a trap, an invitation, a bet. I went back to Lincoln Park. The oak looked taller, darker at night. I used a garden trowel to rebury the box in the same hole, filled the dirt back in, laid the sod down, tacked it flat. No sign anything had been touched. I sat on that bench for 3 hours. No one came. I stood up and turned to leave. Before I left, I marked the trunk, carved a tiny cross into a barch crack with my key. If it was gone next time I came, someone had been there. March 1991, Denver PD report. Female alleges man identifying as Charles Whitmore defrauded her of $50,000 in purported investment scheme. Subject fled prior to officer arrival. Reporter initials EH. EH really did find him, and he ran. She called the cops, and he ran. He'd been running for 32 years. I called the Chicago PD Financial Crimes Unit. A man named Detective Boyd picked up.
You're telling me a man officially declared dead 21 years ago is still picking up mail?
I'm telling you, he's waiting for a reply. I wrote one, put it back. He's probably still in Chicago right now.
How do you know he'll come get it?
Because he's been doing it this whole time. He didn't bury those letters to hide them. He buried them to wait for a stranger to find them.
Where are you?
Home.
Don't touch the box. Don't go back to the park. I'll put in for surveillance. If he shows up, don't go near him. He's a scammer, not a violent offender. But you never know what a man becomes after 32 years on the run.
Detective, I already put the letter back before you told me not to.
You did what?
I left bait.
Kate Harris, you realize you're fishing for a shark that's been swimming for 32 years and swim for 32 years.
I know, but I'm a postal worker. No matter how far it swims, it still gets delivered. The next night, police set up hidden surveillance around the oak in Lincoln Park. A camera tucked in the bushes, a wire. Detective Boyd sat in an unmarked sedan about 200 yards away. I wasn't allowed on site, but Boyd left me a portable monitor with a live feed. I watched from my living room, black and white night vision of tree shadows. First night, nothing. Second, nothing. Third, nothing. Fourth night, 2:17 a.m., a figure stepped into frame. A man in a black coat coming up the north path. Slow, deliberate steps. He stopped at the oak, knelt, and started digging with his hands. Steady hands, like he'd done this 100 times. He unearthed the box, opened it, and pulled out my letter. He stood there holding it, reading by streetlight for a long time. Then he folded it, put it in his pocket, closed the box, and buried it again. Stood up, turned to leave. Right as he turned, he lifted his head and looked straight at the camera, or more exactly, in the direction of my apartment. First time I'd seen Charles Whitmore's face. A man who'd been swimming for 32 years. Finally seen. Detective Boyd didn't move in right there. Smart Cal, in an open park. A A man on the run for 32 years would know the night paths and escape routes better than any cop. He followed. Another unit picked up the tail the next block over. The feed showed Charles Whitmore cut through the park, take a side path, and vanish into an alley in a residential neighborhood.
He went into an apartment building, north side Worcester Street. We got the unit number. Need a warrant, though. Looks like that's where he's staying.
Will he run?
Don't know. But if he read your letter, he'll either bolt or stick around waiting for your next one. What'd you say?
I said he owed them an answer.
Don't know. But if he read your letter, he'll either bolt or stick around waiting for your next one. What'd you say?
I said he owed them an answer. Next morning, the warrant came through. When Boyd's team breached the door, the apartment was empty. But there was a note on the table, weighted down under a desk lamp. One line, same handwriting as the map. Boyd sent me a photo of the note. I stared at that line, and suddenly it clicked. He wasn't asking where to drop the mail. He was saying, "Your letter demanded I answer. But if you want a real answer, you show up. Not hiding behind cameras. Pick a place, meant face-to-face." I wrote a short reply for police to place back. Lincoln Park, the oak tree, 3 days from now, 4 p.m. Show up, and I'll give you all the letters. Don't show up, and I hand them over to the press. Boyd called me after he saw it.
Kate, you can't go.
He asked for me, not you.
You're putting yourself in danger.
Detective, he's a scammer, not a killer. And you guys have him boxed in Chicago. He can't run, he can only talk.
You call this talking?
I'm trying to get him to stop. 32 years running, he's more tired than anyone. 3 days later, 4 p.m., Lincoln Park. Wind was hard, clouds hung low, snow was coming. I sat on the bench by the oak. The box was at my feet. I'd put all 32 letters back inside. My hands were cold, but not from the weather. He showed up. Black coat.
You're the clerk.
Charles Whitmore?
That name's a long time gone. I go by Raymond now.
That's not your real name either.
None of them are real. Names don't matter. What matters is how you found me. First person ever to follow the trail all the way. Boyd only found me 'cause you pointed him there.
You knew I was looking this whole time?
Your letter was good. Short, straight, no extra drama, sounded like a postal worker wrote it.
Who's MJ? He paused. Wind came off the lake, swirling leaves across the ground.
My daughter's mother. Her name's Martha.
RL.
My partner, Ronald.
EH.
Someone I hurt. The worst of all of them.
EH, they all wrote to you.
I know. I got every single one.
But you never wrote back.
Some things you can't write back to.
Why'd you fake your death?
Because I owed $2 million. Couldn't get it back. Project fell apart. Partner took off with the money. I had to run.
What'd you take with you when you left?
Nothing. Left empty-handed.
What about MJ? She thought you loved her.
I did. But love doesn't pay back $2 million. I was in too deep with the scam. By the time I got out, she didn't trust me anymore.
She wrote for 10 years.
I know.
You know she got married later, she wrote about it.
I know.
You know that kid of yours? Your kid? Got into college, she waited for a letter from you. Charles Whitfield, Raymond looked away. His Adam's juct bobbed.
I know. Every single thing.
Then why didn't you write back?
Because if I wrote back, I'd have to face all of it. Martha, Ronald, EH, all those investors, the cops, myself. 32 years running, I forgot how to stop.
Then stop now. Take the letters, or I hand them over. Your call. He looked at me for a long time. Then he bent down, picked up the box, and held it to his chest.
Thanks.
Don't thank me. Say something else.
Like what?
Say you're sorry. You owe them that. He stood there under the oak, holding the box. Wind billowed his coat. His lips moved, but his voice was quiet, almost to himself.
I'm sorry.
Detective Boyd stepped out from behind the trees. 2 plainclothes officers moved in from the sides. Charles Whitmore didn't run. He stood there holding the box, looking at me. Then he set the box on the bench, turned around, and held his hands out in front of him. He never took his eyes off me while Boyd cuffed him.
That box of letters. Can you get them to Martha?
You're not going to give him to her yourself, Self?
She doesn't want to see me.
She wrote for 10 years because she wanted to see you. He looked down, and they led him away. Patrol car doors slammed, red and blue lights flashing against the gray sky. Wind kept blowing, leaves rustling in the oak. I sat on the bench, hand on the box lid. 32 letters, 32 lives. They'd finally stopped moving. I found Martha at the address. She lived in an old brick building on the south side, second floor front, a pot of dead daisies on the windowsill. The woman who opened the door was in her 70s, hunched, white hair pinned back with black barrettons. She stared at the box in my hand for a long time.
You're from the post office.
Yes, ma'am.
They found him.
They did. He asked me to give this to you. She took the box, held it to her chest, didn't open it. She had me sit on the living room couch.
What'd he say to you?
Said he couldn't run anymore. Said he owed you an explanation.
He doesn't owe me an explanation. He owes me a lifetime.
Did you know he faked his death?
I figured. That funeral in 1997, nobody told me. I looked into it later, no family signature on the death certificate. I got it.
You wrote for 10 years. Sent them to an address marked deceased.
I knew he'd never get 'em. But I had to write. If I didn't, I'd never let go.
Well, now you have them. He couldn't write back, but he sent me to bring you these. That's some kind of answer, right? Martha looked down at the box, ran a finger over the rust on the lid.
32 years. He kept 32 years of letters in a metal box. At least he didn't throw them away.
She finally lifted the lid. Her first letter was on top, her own handwriting. She recognized it, picked it up, didn't read it, just held it.
Thank you, postal lady.
Martha called me the next day.
Kate, I want to write a letter. Send it to him.
To the prison?
To the prison. Somewhere he'll actually get it. I wrote for 32 years. Now he can finally read 'em.
What are you going to say?
30 years of things. I got married, got divorced. Kid grew up, graduated college, works as an engineer in Michigan. I had a dog, passed last year. None of that matters. What matters is I hated him for 32 years.
But he kept my letters. He didn't throw them away. That's enough.
Did you forgive him?
Not forgive, just... I don't want to hate anymore. Hating's tiring. I'm tired. Writing's easier. I hung up. The sky was gray outside, wind hard, but no rain. I remembered a detail all of a sudden. All 32 letters in the box were in perfect chronological order. Nobody else sorted them. He did. He read them, put them back in order, every single one right where it belonged. 30 years of letters, and he never threw one away. Kept everyone's time in a metal box. Maybe it wasn't guilt, but he made a choice. He chose not to throw them away. Ronald L., Charles's old partner, lived in a nursing home outside Chicago. 82 years old, in a wheelchair, hands a little shaky. I brought his 9 letters to see him. He recognized his own handwriting, but didn't touch them.
What'd you say to him?
He's in prison, fraud charges.
Waited 32 years, finally stopped running.
He asked me to tell you he's sorry. Ronald laughed. Not a happy laugh, a tired one.
Sorry. Sorry gonna give me my shop back. Sorry gonna get my son back from his mom. My family fell apart 'cause he talked me into cooking the books.
He knows that.
What good does knowing do?
Said he ran 'cause he didn't know how to face it. Not 'cause he didn't care. Rono was quiet for a long time. Then he pushed the letters gently back across the table.
You keep 'em. I don't want 'em.
You sure?
I wrote those when I was at my lowest. Don't want to read 'em again now that I'm old.
I put the letters away. When I walked out of the nursing home, snow was starting to fall. Light, tiny flakes, almost weightless when they landed on my shoulder. Charles Whitmore ran for 32 years, but he kept 32 letters, sorted them, buried them under an oak.
None of them got an answer, but none got thrown away. He did a strange thing. He kept the evidence, proof that people hated him. Maybe that was the rope he left for himself, so someone could follow it and find him. He'd been waiting to be found this whole time. E.H. was the hardest to track down. No address in her letters, just the Denver PD report. Through that, I found her current name, Eleanor Horton. She'd moved to Oregon, ran a used bookstore in Portland. Hi, Eleanor. I'm a clerk with the Chicago Post Office. I'm looking into an old fraud case involving a man named Charles Whitmore.
He's alive.
He is. He just got arrested. I wanted to tell you, the man you reported back in 1991, he's in jail now.
Why are you telling me this?
Because I found the letters you wrote him. He said he read them. Said you were the one he hurt the worst.
He doesn't get to say that. He stole my money and my heart. Took me 3 years to trust anyone again.
Do you trust people now?
Yeah. Not because of him. Because of me.
Your letters, want them back?
You keep them. I wrote those when I was young. That chapter's closed. Do you trust people now? Tell him not to bother. Tell him I forgive him. Not because he deserves it, because I don't want to carry it anymore.
I hung up. Snow was coming down harder outside. A thin white blanket already on the ground. Charles Whitmore's trial was 3 months later. Federal court, third courtroom. I sat in the back row of the gallery. Martha was to my right. Ronald didn't come. Eleanor sent a letter from Portland marked for the court, just one line. I won't be there. But I confirm what he owes me is money. What he owes everyone else is an explanation. The trial lasted 4 days. Charles had no lawyer, represented himself. He didn't fight a single charge.
I stole their money, I ran, I have no defense.
Why did you fake your death? Because I didn't know how to pay it back, or how to say I was sorry. I thought dying would end it. But I was wrong. Death doesn't end anything. It just makes the debt bigger. The judge sentenced him to 15 years in federal prison, full restitution of all illegal proceeds, and compensation for all confirmed victims. Charles stood when the verdict was read, no expression on his face.
He turned and looked out at the gallery, found me in the crowd. We didn't say anything. He just nodded once, soft, like he was saying, "You delivered it." After the trial, Detective Boyd was waiting for me outside the courthouse. "Kate, the feds want to talk to you." "About what?"
Your job at the post office. How you handled dead letters. You didn't just open an envelope. You followed a trail and found a man on the run for 32 years. They want to know if you'd help with other cases.
"What kind of cases?"
People who disappeared off the books. People who faked their deaths. People who took new identities. Our system's full of address or unknown files. But letters get sent to real addresses, even if the address is marked deceased.
"So you want me to dig through dead letters for clues, help you find living people?"
Not just find them. Find the people who've been erased.
I gazed at courthouse sky. Snow stopped, sun pierced clouds and touched the street. "I need my own unit."
Done.
"An office, a terminal, a file clerk."
Done.
"And no just fraud cases. Any letter to a deceased person, if I think something's off, I look into it."
Went from mail clerk to detective. I'm a postal worker. Postal workers just look at addresses. The people behind them, that's just a bonus along the route.
A month later, there was a new office on the 3rd floor of Chicago's main post office. A sheet of paper taped to the door, handwritten, "Dead Letter Locator Project." My job was simple. All letters marked deceased, addressee unknown that couldn't be returned to sender got forwarded to my office after the regular return process. I opened them, read them, looked for something off. Off meant letters to a dead person that sounded like they were talking to someone alive. Addresses that existed, but the recipient was marked deceased with no valid death record. Letters with clues, maps, codes, cries for help. First week, I got 47 dead letters. 3 I flagged as pending investigation. 3 letters. One to late Thomas Bell. "You said you'd tell me the truth. Where is it?" The second for late det Mary Ann has an old fold photo with a number on its back. The nameless third lists a shuttered factory address. If you're reading this, I'm alive. I laid 3 letters on my desk. Trucks unloaded outside. Thousands of city mails mostly arrive on time daily. But some always got lost.
My job was to find out why. Thomas Bell was marked deceased in the system, date of death 2015, but the letter to him was dated 2018, signed his daughter. It read, "Dad, 7 years no calls. They claim you're dead, yet I'll search if you live." The letter was returned marked deceased. But by the time it went back, the return address was smudged, postmark still there, but ink blurred by water damage. It ended up at dead letter, then on my desk. I pulled Thomas' 2015 crash death file with unclaimed corpse. Oddly, his SSN stayed active in 2016 for a new bank account. Pennsylvania. A dead man opening a bank account a year after he died? State police traced the account's Pittsburgh library and IP. Balance checked November 2018. I phoned the librarian, who recalled a 60-year-old man using guest computers alone in the back corner daily. Does he still come in?
Not lately, but he left a book on his seat. I kept it.
They mailed the book to me. An old atlas open to the Ohio page. A small town circled in pencil, Milford. I bought a train ticket to Millfield. I don't remember why. A month later, Chicago's main post office opened a third-floor office with a handwritten sign, Dead Letter Locator Project. My work was straightforward. Undeliverable letters marked deceased, address N, unknown, came to me after standard returns. I opened each, scanned for clues. Off meant odd cases. Notes to the dead written as if the recipient lived, valid addresses with unrecorded deceased addressers, plus letters holding maps, codes, and pleas for aid. First week, I got 47 dead letters. 3 I flagged as pending investigation. I laid the 3 letters out on my desk in a row. Outside the window was the loading dock, trucks unloading. Thousands of letters moved through the city every day, most delivered on time. But some always got lost. My job was to find out why. One to Thomas Bell, deceased, that said, "You said you'd tell me the truth. Where is it?" One to Mary Ann, deceased, with an old photo inside, a phone number on the back. Third one, no name, just an address. A long shuttered factory, with one line, "If you're reading this, I'm still alive." Thomas Bell was marked deceased in the system, date of death 2015, but the letter to him was dated 2018, signed his daughter. It dead, 7 years. Stamped deceased, the letter's return address blurred by water, only the postmark remained. It wound up in dead mail and reached me. I found Thomas's 2015 unclaimed crash death record, but a dead man opening a bank account a year after he died? I contacted PA State Police. They traced the account IP to a Pittsburgh library with a 2018 November balance without logged. I called the library. The librarian remembered a regular 60-year-old man using guest computers, hiding in the rear corner with his back to the door. Does he still come in? Not lately. But he left a book on his seat. I kept it. They mailed the book to me. An old atlas, open to the Ohio page, a small town circled in pencil, Milford. I bought a train ticket to Milford. Millfield was tiny, only 3 main streets. I found the white clapboard house at the spot marked on the map, a faded blue mailbox out front. I knocked. A man in his 60s answered, scar on his cheek, limping. He looked at me, didn't say anything. Thomas Bell.
Who sent you?
Your daughter. She wrote you letters. You never wrote back. They got returned to the dead letter office. I work there.
She's still writing.
She did. 7 years. Everyone got sent back. But the return address was smudged, so she never got 'em.
I didn't know. I left that book at the library hoping someone'd find me. Never thought it'd be a postal worker.
Why didn't you go home?
'Cause that car crash in 2015, I faked it. Owed money, business went under. Didn't want to drag her down with me. I left.
And what happened? She thought you were dead for 7 years? You made her write all those letters that never got to you?
I know, but I forgot how to go back.
Thomas, writing back is easy. Write address, enough stamps, drop it in a box. He looked at me and suddenly smiled. A ragged smile, like someone who hadn't smiled in years.
You really are a postal worker, huh?
I am.
Postal workers always know how to mail a letter.
He went inside and got paper and a pen. I waited on the porch. Wind swirled leaves across the boards, sun hitting the faded blue mailbox. Thomas wrote a letter. Short. Daughter, I'm alive. Addressed at the top. Come home.
Mail it for me.
You mail it. There's a box out in front of the post office.
I can't.
Why not?
If I stand in front of that post office, I'm scared I'll chicken out.
I'll mails it. But promise me one thing. When it gets there, you answer the phone. When she calls, you pick up.
Will she call?
She wrote for 7 years. You think she won't? I tucked the letter into my bag and left. Glancing back, Thomas lingered in the doorway, gazing at the mailbox. Letters are echoes, bouncing back when you reach out. Sometimes they're knocks, years of rapping before a door yields. Thomas knocked 7 years, and I was the door that opened. He went to the sanitarium later. I heard he brought white flowers and sat in Mary's room for 3 hours. Said, "You came." First full sentence she's spoken in 13 years. The nurse told me Mary Ann smiled that day. I didn't bother them again, but I added a note to the file: Mary Ann removed from deceased list, status alive, contact son. First rule of the Dead Letter Locator Project: people shouldn't be erased by the system. Even if family wants them gone, letters find a way to remind you they're still here. That night when I got home, I texted Martha, "MJ, you still writing letters?" "Sometimes. Don't mail them. Just keep them in a drawer." "Mail them. The address has a real name now." Okay. The third letter was addressed to no name, just an address, the shuttered factory. One line: "If you're reading this, I'm still alive." Hard handwriting, pen pressed right through the paper. I looked up the factory, owned by a chemical company, went under 10 years ago. After it closed, all mail went to Dead Letter. No return address on this one because the sender didn't write their own address, they just wrote the factory as the recipient. He was writing to himself, mailing it to his old address, waiting for it to get sent back. A message in a bottle, dropped into the system, drifting, until someone opened it. I checked the factory payroll. Daniel Morrow, a mechanic, left in 2014. No subsequent work, social security, tax, or death records. He vanished entirely. Daniel Morrow vanished in 2014. Then he wrote a letter, mailed it to his old factory, no name, just one line.
Can anyone hear me?
And he used the postal system to yell it. I found him. Not in the system, at a homeless shelter near the old factory. Daniel Morrow, 55, gray beard, boots with holes.
You the one who got the letter?
I am. You mailed it to the factory even though you knew it was closed.
I knew. I mailed it because I wanted to know, does anyone still open mail for the factory? Does anyone care about old addresses?
Yeah, I do.
What you want?
I came to tell you, your letter was delivered. You didn't disappear. Someone got it.
I lost my job in 2014, drank heavily and left my family. Homeless and too ashamed to ask for help, I sent a short letter back to the factory. Never thought anyone actually open it, just figured maybe someday someone at the post office would see it. Maybe that way I wouldn't be completely gone.
Who'd you want to mail to now?
My daughter,
What's her name?
Amy. She's married. Lives in Michigan. Didn't even dare remember her address.
Write it. I'll mail it for you. You know the address.
You'll really mail it?
I'm a postal worker. It's my job. I took the letter, walked to the mailbox outside the shelter, and dropped it in. It made a soft thud at the bottom.
Daniel stood in the doorway watching. His eyes were red, but he didn't cry.
It'll get there in 3 days. She'll call you.
What if she doesn't?
She will. You're her dad. 3 days later, Daniel called me. Voice unsteady.
She called.
What'd she say?
Said, "Dad, you're alive." I said, "I'm sorry." She said, "Don't be sorry, just come home."
Where are you now?
Station. Bought a ticket. Headed to Michigan.
Safe travels.
Thanks, postal lady.
I hung up and sat in my office. Outside the window, the loading deck, new mail trucks unloading. On my desk, Mary Ann's case closure, Thomas Bell's family contact record, Daniel Morin's delivery confirmation. 3 letters, 3 people. Every day in this city, people get swallowed up by addressee unknown, vanish into the cracks of the system. But the system has cracks. The dead letter office is one of them. Those undelivered letters pull erased people back in. I wrote on the whiteboard, dead letter locator, located 3, pending 14. Small numbers, but each one was an echo. Martha came by the post office that day, holding a thin Manalia envelope.
Another letter? For the prison. Mail it for me.
For him. For him. He can't write back, but at least he'll get it.
What'd you say?
30 years, summed up. 3 lines.
3 lines.
Line 1, I hated you. Line 2, I don't anymore. Line 3, your daughter's name is Beth. She has a girl named Lily. You're a grandpa.
He'll read it.
Wrote for 32 years, he never got a real one. This one, he'll get it. Waited 32 years just to mail 3 lines. Some letters don't need to be long. They just need to get delivered. She handed me the letter and turned to leave. Her shadow stretched long down the hallway lights. I stared at the envelope for a long time. Prison address, recipient Charles Whitmore. On the back in pencil, I added a tiny line from the dead letter office, recipient confirmed alive, delivered successfully. 2 weeks later, I got a letter from the prison. Addressed to Kate Harris, dead letter office. I opened it. Charles's handwriting. Kate, got Martha's letter. 3 lines. Read 'em all day. You were right. Some letters don't need to be long. They just need to get there. Thank you for keeping those letters from dying on the route. I'd still have the box. I folded it back up, put it in the envelope, and tucked it. It's beat it in my work log. On the first page, I'd written 1 line by hand, dead letter locator, the first box, delivered.